Welcome, everybody. I'm Katie Lubis with the Chamber for Greater Chapel Hill-Carrboro. It's my pleasure to welcome you to the virtual information session for Leadership Chapel Hill-Carrboro 2023. For today's session, I have some slides prepared. I'm going to take just a couple minutes to orient you to the program so you have a sense of just generally high level what this program is all about. And then I'm going to turn to our guest, Allie Evans, who's going to share just a couple minutes of reflections from her participation in the program last year. And then we're going to go around the horn and give each of you a chance to introduce yourselves. And I'm going to ask that you share your name, organizational affiliation, and what you would hope to get out of this program if you decide to proceed. And then after that, we're going to dive deeper into the program, and we're really going to get into the competencies that you'll develop. I'll share some pictures from the past programs and go over the registration requirements to have a successful experience. And then we'll have some time for Q&A, and we'll discuss next steps and wrap it up. Sound good? All right. Wonderful. Well, here is the beautiful class from 2022. Allie is front and center. As you can see, it's a diverse class of committed and emerging leaders. And here's a quick summary about the Leadership Chapel Hill-Carrboro program, which I'm going to refer to as leadership going forward. It's an extensive program, and it's designed to get you informed, developed, connected, and engaged in the Greater Chapel Hill-Carrboro community. Participants broaden their understanding of issues and opportunities facing our region. You're going to work on your leadership skills. You're going to establish lasting relationships, and you're going to deepen your influence through ongoing network and service opportunities. The cohort, as I mentioned before, is made up of committed and emerging leaders. So these are folks on all spectrums of their leadership journey, and those who live and or work in our region, and everyone shares a desire for a greater Chapel Hill-Carrboro. The program features 10 sessions over 5 months, so going from May through September, which is nice because for those of you who are leadership program junkies like me, many of the other programs actually go from September to May through the school year timeframe, and so ours is a nice complement being in the summertime. Most of our sessions are on the second and fourth Thursday of each month, and they are usually all day. The programming takes place at different locations throughout our region, mostly in Orange County, as well as Southwest Durham, Northern Chatham County, and as well as extensive programming in the towns of Chapel Hill, Carrboro, and Hillsborough. This is a cohort-based leadership learning experience, and we use all sorts of adult learning components to bring the program to life for you. We use presentations, we go and see things through tours and experiential learning activities, and of course, offer facilitated dialogue. The sessions each have a different topic. We cover critical issues for our community, starting with the history and governance of our region, as well as we go into the economy, education and workforce development, economic and community development, health and human services, university relations, which some people affectionately call town gown, as well as safety and equity and civility, tourism, arts, and the environment. So we pack a lot of fun into this program. Aaron likes to say we pack 10 pounds of fun in a 5-pound bag. Here is a picture of Allie Evans from last year's private graduation ceremony of the program in August of last year. She's standing with the mayors of Carrboro and Chapel Hill, who both came out to celebrate the graduation. And Allie, I'm going to stop sharing my screen because I'd like to invite you to just share any reflections you might have for those on the call today who are thinking about participating this year.
I'd be
What
happy
should they know?
Thank you for letting me crash your meeting today. I will take any opportunity to sing the praises of leadership. I participated in last summer's program, so I was in it from, like Kate said, from May to September. And I'm a kid who grew up in Chapel Hill. I thought I know everything there is to know about this place. I know why there's not drive-throughs. I knew everything about everything. And what the leadership program taught me is that there is always so much more to learn and to contribute because of what you've learned to your community. And leadership gave me and my cohort members the opportunity to do that. A couple things that I just, when I first started thinking about what I wanted to say to you guys, like the most important thing that I could share with you is that this is a program that, in my opinion, only works if you do. So if you decide to move forward with this, which I would encourage every one of you to, really show up and be engaged and participate and ask questions and be thoughtful, and that's how you'll get the most out of it. Don't just do it to be able to say on paper that you did, or hope that you can put in minimal effort for maximum results, because I feel like I went in and showed up and participated, and that's why I got so much out of it. We even had a couple people in our cohort change jobs. We're all still connected with one another. We all still spend time together. I have a group chat with several members of my cohort that we participate in weekly at least. But I thought it was interesting that people change jobs, and it kind of, I'm one of those people. I actually changed roles about a month and a half or so after completing leadership. And it occurred to me that maybe some of us felt empowered and supported, and we're able to take these things that we learned in leadership and apply them to a goal that we had had for a long time. And all we were missing was that push, that support. And please don't go tell your employers that this girl in a meeting said it's time for you to change jobs, because it was just a happy byproduct of that support and cheerleading that we all got. One of the nice things was, I think our cohort, Katie, you can correct me, were we the first to be in person post-COVID?
Yes, you were. We actually had to pause the program for 2 years during COVID. So we were really happy to be back together.
It was such a gift. I don't think I was even aware of how much new human communication I was missing. And it was such a delight to get together, even just for a change of scenery, change of pace, be with 30 new people that I hadn't been with for the past 3 years, mainly just because of COVID. So that was really great. And if you do it, you'll get to be the next group that gets exposure to new people and get to spend time and learn stories. And I think I mentioned that I changed jobs, and I wasn't made aware of how much people management I would have to do in my new job. And I find myself on a weekly basis unintentionally referring back to things that I learned in leadership to help me in my role now. Like I've never sat down and made a list of like, what did I learn about being a leader that I can apply to my role? But there are things that just sort of like Mary Poppins into your head. You're like, oh, we had a great speaker about that, and I feel fully capable of managing people that I was not prepared to manage at all. So when it's called leadership, it's truly about growing yourself as a leader and being able to apply that to whatever challenge is next, even if you don't think that's going to come next. Just looking at my notes, because Katie asked me to cover a couple of things. I think the last thing that I just want to say and like leave you guys with is that I worked in my last role in Chapel Hill at a Chapel Hill institution for 3.5 years before I left and went to my role now in Durham. I'm home recovering from surgery, which is why I'm in my kitchen, but normally I work at a job in Durham. And I have found that I feel more connected to the Orange County community because of connections I made in leadership, more so than the connections I made in 3.5 years at my last role. So take that for what it's worth. It's not a dig at my last job. I loved my last job and all the people there, but leadership was like a crash course in becoming more engaged and informed about my community. And I am so grateful that I did it and would absolutely recommend that all you do it too.
Thank you, Allie. That's beautiful. We're so glad you're here to join and encourage folks to register and experience a special program. I'm a graduate of the class of 2017. I loved it so much, and it's such a pleasure to direct the program now. Aaron Nelson from the Chamber has been with the Chamber for 23 years. He's also a graduate of the program. And Aaron, I'd like to give you a chance to maybe share some high-level reflections on the program before we go around the horn and have each person introduce themselves.
Sure. Yeah, I think I'm a 2000, year 2000, or maybe 1999 graduate of the program. And if you all join the program, you'll be the 23rd class I've had the opportunity to work with. And it's one of my favorite parts of my job is engaging with these 25 or 30 leaders, some of which have grown up in Chapel Hill. I remember when the general manager of the Sienna Hotel went through, and he's a Chapel Hill native and found it interesting. And some people are like brand new from New Jersey, right? I just showed up. I got a job 6 months ago or 3 months ago. And I can't find my way around town because everybody tells me what used to be there, right? They're like, oh, where the old whatever was, right? Where the old Southern Season was. And that's totally not helpful for new people. The class is, it's pretty remarkable. Katie has revised the curriculum. We try to improve it all the time over time, and a good mix of civics, right? Meeting the police chiefs and the fire chiefs and taking a tour and riding the bus and learning how government works and the difference between county and city government and how things function. If you're not from here, if you are from here, still how things function and the interlocking, sort of governments and taxation and the role of the university, but also the leadership part that that I was talking about and Allie was talking about. How can we help deepen your knowledge of yourself so that you can bring your best self to the work task that you have in front of you? We'll ask you to stretch a little bit with a ropes course and maybe never ridden public transit before. Oh my God, 1 year. So you have to ride a bus. It's part of this thing you got to do before you graduate. And a person was super nervous. And so she got on, but then she had her husband follow the bus the whole way. So she got on the bus. He drove behind it for like, 20 minutes until she got off. Okay, we'll teach you how to use it to get to a place you really want to be, not just to ride around town. But, a nice experience to break the glass on a few things so you know how to use them. Anyway, I'm looking forward to working with you. You'll see a lot of me through this program, developing good relationship with me, with the chamber staff, but also with each other. Mm-hmm. Thanks, Katie, for organizing this. And thank you, Allie. So nice to see you.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. Okay, I just dropped in the chat. I'd like to go around the horn and have each of us introduce ourselves. I'd like for you to share your name, your organizational affiliation, and if you're currently not employed, then you could decide on whatever affiliation you want to choose.
Tell us who you want to be when you grow up.
And then, yeah. And then thirdly, if you do decide to proceed with the program, what you hope to get out of it. And I'm just going to call on folks randomly. So Tony, I'm going to start with you and then I'll go to Lindsay.
Okay, now that I'm unmuted. Okay, my name is Tony Graham, and I am the Chief Executive Officer here at the North Carolina Board of Nursing. And I was given the information about the course, and it seemed exciting. And I'm always looking for additional tools to add to my toolbox.
Thanks, Tony. Great to have you. Lindsay, over to you, and then I'll go to Dawn.
Hey, Katie. Hey, Aaron. It's good to see you guys again. My name is Lindsay Hinger. I'm a business launch specialist with the SBTDC. That's the Small Business and Technology Development Center. And I work out of the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill location, and I went to UNC as well. So I'm very familiar with the Chapel Hill area, but not exactly a native. So through this program, I would love to understand more about the issues and the opportunities in the area. The issues maybe finding out what kind of services can be improved for those issues, and then with the opportunities, see what kind of businesses can flourish, and also to network in the local area. I think that would be really beneficial.
Wonderful. Thanks, Lindsay. Dawn, I'm going to go to you, and then I'm going to go to Caroline. Looks like Dawn's having a little bit of trouble unmuting, so I'm going to go to Caroline, and then I'm going to go to, oh, Dawn, there she is. Okay, Dawn, then
Sorry,
Caroline.
I'm on my phone and I wasn't sure. My name is Dawn. I own 2 wine and design locations, one in Chapel Hill and the other is in Durham. I just moved to the area about 2 years ago. So I'm really, so much of what Ali said is what I'm looking for. Well, I'm not a native to Chapel Hill, but I'm new to the area and I just really want to learn more about the area, get involved, learn, meet people in the community, and network a lot. I would love to do more service related things as well. And I just think that this would be a really good way to kind of get my foot in the door and meet people and figure out what there is that I can help with.
I love that. And Dawn, our organization loves your shop. We went there and enjoyed wine and design.
Yeah, you had your Christmas event there, right?
We had a great time.
Good.
Caroline, over to you, and Chanel, you're on deck.
Hey, everybody. And hey, Allie, it's good to see you again. And Dawn, I look forward to meeting you. I know I owe you an email. But I'm Caroline Rigsby with Pinnacle Financial Partners. I, like Allie, pretty much grew up here, born here, moved away, came back anyway. A lot of times, but I've been back in the area since 1977 and love it here. But talking about change, right, from the year I was born up until now, it's a lot of change. I've been wanting to do this for a long time because I know a lot of people that are graduates of it and talk about what a great experience it was. My schedule was finally got to the point I think I can do it, and I only have 2 issues that I can attend. But again, I want to be more informed about our community. Like Allie, I thought I knew a lot, but talking to other people, I really don't. So I'm looking forward to that, to understanding the issues as well, and to meeting new people.
Wonderful. Thanks, Caroline. Chanel, over to you, and then Bryce.
Hi, can y'all hear me?
We sure can.
Okay, I'm Chanel Small, and I just started at Orange Habitat in January. I live in Durham, and the only thing I know about Chapel Hill is Lineberger Cancer Center, because I used to work with the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. Hey, Tony Graham! Oh my God, I used to work with Tony. He's one of my volunteers. And I am interested in leadership because I want to learn more about Orange County and how I can make an impact and spread all around and just kind of get ingrained in the community. And definitely networking is really important to me.
It's wonderful. And Chanel, thank you for joining us from your car. Please keep driving safely. And we're glad you're with us. Bryce, over to you.
Thank you.
All right, hello. I am Bryce Nasir Bowden. I'm here at Community Works. One thing I would love to get out of this is just seeing how the community works. Seeing how the sausage gets made. And really touching base with some of our community leaders and businesses and seeing if we could create some new programs for our community or revive some old ones that maybe we should bring back. That's what I'm looking forward to.
I love that, Bryce. And your president and CEO is a former chair of our Chamber's Board of Directors. She is a wonderful leader in this community. She might be a graduate of the program too. Aaron, do you happen to know if Barbara Jessie Black's gone through? Not yet. Maybe in the future.
I remember almost all of y'all, but I don't recall if she's been through it.
Did I miss anyone in our introductions? I think I got everyone. All right, I'm going to take a few more minutes to explain to you more about the program, particularly what you can expect to get out of it. And then we'll have some time for questions and discussions and wrap it up. So I have a few more slides to share. Give me just a moment. Okay, can y'all see my screen? This is a lot of text here. And by the way, these slides, I'm going to send you a link after our call today so that you can take your time and go through each one of these slides if you'd like. The big thing I want you to know is there are 4 specific competencies we are intentionally helping you build through this program if you choose to go through it. We want to help you get more informed, developed, connected, and engaged. And as you can see, the bullets under each of these sections punctuates a few key things you can expect going forward. My caveat is it's always subject to change. Sometimes we pivot each year, so we might say that you're going to go have a meal at the IFC, shelter, but instead of that, you might actually tour the men's shelter rather than have a meal. It just depends on scheduling and all, but we really do deliver comparable experiences to this. So as far as getting informed, Erin pretty much kicks off each session with a data deep dive. And that might sound like a snoozer, but it's actually super interesting. He helps you get really smart, really fast on every topic of the day, whatever the issue is. And that way you are armed for the rest of the day with a really good sense of what's the current state of play, who are the key players, what's happening, so that you can be asking questions and thinking about how can I get involved and add value and make a positive difference. So that's how you get informed, is you're getting the deep dive, level setting, and you're going and seeing things. On the second session, you're getting on a bus and we are driving you on a guided tour throughout the region. And like Erin mentioned, some of you who grew up here, you're going to see things and hear about things you had no idea about. We could hear that again and again from the locals, that they learned so much. You're also going to have all these really interesting experiences where you're going to get informed and out of your comfort zone, like riding along with a police officer, which is often a first for many people. We also help you get developed. So many of you, I can tell, are already very well-established leaders, and we hope to further develop you, take you wherever you are and help you move along and achieve whatever you want to achieve in your leadership development. So we want to help you refine your skills. We have a cadre of some really exceptional leadership and professional development experts who facilitate workshops for us. One of my favorites is Sharon Hill, who does a business etiquette workshop, which is just hysterical and a lot of fun. We also have Zemo Trevathan in the past, who has done a communications workshop, which is absolutely wonderful. Erin every year leads the Parliamentary Procedures Robert's Rules of Order workshop, which is incredibly empowering. So anyone who hasn't been on a board or been chair of a board of directors at a nonprofit, you need these skills to step into those roles and do it well, and we help you with that. We also stretch you with a high ropes course. You don't have to go up to the high ropes, but we encourage everyone to do so, and you get your knees start knocking and you lean on your peers to build your courage. The third of the 4 competencies is connected. We want to help you establish meaningful and lasting relationships. And you're going to get connected not only among your peers in your cohort, but also with elected officials and leaders with whom you'll meet in each of the 10 sessions. We also, in the past, have had learning teams so that you can deepen your connection among your team members. And we have lots of receptions and events at the chamber where your class will be encouraged to attend, and you'll be able to meet our network of about 2,500 executives from around our region. And then the 4th competency is getting engaged. We want to help you deepen your influence through ongoing networking and service opportunities. This isn't just about building you up. Our selfish intention of this entire program is to empower you so that you work with us and make a positive difference in our community. So some of these success stories. I guess I would call them that. Camille Berry went through our program, and then her former leadership peers were her best volunteers on her campaign when she ran for town council, and she's now in, I think, her 3rd year of her service on council. So we want to help all of you get more engaged in the community, whether that's elected office, service on boards, or advisory boards and commissions. However you want to serve, we want to empower you. So those are the competencies. And then here are a couple pictures to bring to life what I'm trying to communicate to you. The first of the 4 being informed. This was last year's class during the bus tour through our region. Allie's there front and center again. Overachiever. And then here is the cohort at Durham Tech Community College in Orange County. You can see JB Buxton, the president of Durham Tech, on the back left. He had just finished a workshop talking about workforce development with the cohort. And then getting developed, our second of 4 competencies. Here you have some pictures of our cohort last year in the high ropes course at the Triangle Training Center, helping each other out. And here you have several pictures of our cohort stretching themselves. Top left, our members of leadership were giving a presentation to pitch to their peers to pick the small miracle, the charity of their choice, as the beneficiary for a focused group project where you all will work together as a fundraiser to help a local charity. You each have to pitch somebody, so you get to work on your public speaking skills. On the bottom right, that's Sharon Hill leading a business etiquette class, and top right, you have our cohort having a meal at the local homeless shelter. Bottom left is getting developed as they tour Riverwalk and learn about economic development. The third competency is getting connected. And as you can see, the cohort has a lot of fun hanging out together as we take them on experiences. Here they're touring an innovation space on UNC Chapel Hill's campus. And here are a few more pictures about getting connected. The top left, the cohort was walking across the football stadium. They had a personal tour with the athletics director at UNC and the second in charge there with UNC Athletics. In the middle, we have a participant getting connected with an elected official. And on the right-hand side, touring Piedmont Food Processing Center and getting connected with leaders making a difference in this community. And then the fourth competency is getting engaged. So we want to help you get more engaged in the community. And we do that through our community passport. So in addition to experiences together as a cohort in our structured programming, outside of that, you'll have like not even half a dozen things we're going to ask you to do on your own time. And you can tick the boxes. It's on an honor system, but it is like the police ride along on the top right, or donating blood, or having a smorgasbord of choices of things you can do to get engaged. And on the far left side, attend a public meeting. So the cohort decided a bunch of them went together to one of the evening meetings at Town Hall and posted it on social media. And then here's a picture of last year's cohort. They did their fundraiser to help a nonprofit called Inside Out, and they hosted the fundraising event. It was a drag party at the Graduate Hotel, and they were having a great time.
Yeah, I had never been to drag bingo before, and I gotta tell you, if there's a drag bingo opportunity in the future, I am there.
Yeah, I do want to pause there. I've just went through a lot, but I think the thing I'm trying to convey here is we have very clear competencies we want to develop, and if these are things you're interested in developing, you can count on us to deliver on those 4 fronts. Erin, is there anything you want to add before I go into responsibilities and requirements?
No, only to compliment how fabulously you are delivering this orientation.
Well, thanks. Allie, anything you want to add as far as just the competency development?
No, I mean, that covered it. I mean, you can really see from the pictures, like, we are not hamming it up. Nobody said, hey, they're going to use these to try and recruit people. Like, we are genuinely just having a great time together. So Katie talks about like the boxes that you'll check, but one thing that I really want to impose on you is that you're going to have a really great time. It's fun. You're going to learn things that might make you a little bit uncomfortable, but it's all part of the process.
Well, let me go on to that. We had one participant said that we do best when we sit on the edge of discomfort, was one of his descriptions. And we've had, there'll be complicated conversations on race and policing, or politics and homelessness, and about, the complexities of a very politically diverse leadership class choosing to do drag bingo while they raised funds for a group that works with transgender youth as the principal fun thing that they were going to do, when we had religious conservatives and community liberals and all working together to figure their stuff out. We're gonna press and stretch in a safe space with trusting relationships that will help build. And that was just sort of describing that last one. And then we've got some good experience having done this for a long time. And like Katie said, some of it will change. We shape as we go. We sometimes learn midway that there's some key things that are going on in our community that we need to turn up as we go further into the program, and we'll try to adjust that as well.
Yep. Great. Thanks, Aaron. All right. So now I'm going to move into requirements of the program and next steps, and then give you all a chance to ask some questions or make comments. Okay. So while we prepare a really fabulous program for you, and you get to just enjoy savoring it all, we do have some expectations of you going through the program. So to successfully complete the program and be considered as a graduate of Leadership Chapel Hill-Carrboro and use the title of Leadership Fellow, you have to do 3 things. You have to attend all the sessions, and we do allow up to 2 excused absences. You have to complete the community passport. Again, this is on the honor system, but think of the community passport like a list of different things you can choose to do. Like you go to a country and get a stamp. These would be things you would be doing that are really fun on your own time. You could do it with some fellow members of the cohort if you'd like, or a significant other, but it's a chance to build those competencies. And then the third thing is you have to complete the small miracle. And this is the group project that the cohort does together. And they have a whole process using Robert's Rules of Order to select the nonprofit that will be the beneficiary. And then they plan some kind of party or fundraiser. In the past, we've had silent auctions. We've had parties at private residences, at public spaces. We've had like an amazing race type game. There's been all sorts of creative events that the cohort has done together to raise funds. And I think the high water mark of funds raised was about $13,000. But we don't expect that. This is not meant to be a burden, just a light lift to have some fun and help the charity of choice. So as far as registration, if you like what you're hearing and you want to proceed, you should know that the fee is $17.50 for chamber members, $19.50 for non-members. And this covers all of our programming, all the materials, all of the food we provide. And then we do have discounts. So if your organization is a major investor level of our chamber, some levels get 50% off, some get 25% off. On top of that, we do not want finances to be a barrier for anyone. And we are very fortunate to have some funders who've made it possible to offer partial scholarships. And so if you have a bit of a delta to be able to do this, complete the partial scholarship application form, and we will do our very best to meet you and get you into the cohort, okay? As far as the registration process, it is an online form. It should not take you more than 10 minutes to complete. The first part, you just have about not even a dozen questions to answer: your name, your title, your organization, a short bio, which we would share with your peers in the cohort, any dietary restrictions or accommodations that you would need, that sort of thing. And importantly, you would need to confirm, to attest that your employer has approved your participation. And that's important to us because this is a big dang time commitment. And we want you to get a lot out of it, but you're going to also, to do so, be away from your office for an all day, several days for the summer. And so it's important that your employer has eyes wide open of what you'd be committing to. The second part of the registration process is payment. So you would need to be paid in full by the deadline, which is April 14th. That's about 3 weeks away. And we can do it. You can make a credit card payment or select to be billed by invoice. For those who are applying for the partial scholarship, we encourage you to go ahead and apply, register online, and then just select invoice, and then we'll adjust the amount that you need to pay on the invoice based on what we're able to provide through the partial scholarship. So that's the registration nitty gritty. And here are a couple more pictures. The hairnet picture on the bottom right always kills me. I can't do this without including that one in there. If you go through the program, you'll get to tour Piedmont Food Processing Center. It's this innovation hub for food businesses. Super cool, but they make you wear a hairnet and it trips me out. And then top right is at the high ropes course, or top left is top right was in Hillsboro when they had that beautiful artist stick castle. And then bottom left is, I think that might be at Durham Tech as well, in an education and workforce deep dive with Aaron. So I'm going to pause here now. You've heard a lot. I want to give you all a chance to provide some feedback, ask any clarifying questions, and hopefully we'll have you all as part of the program. We would love that. So the floor is open.
I wanted to clarify the timing. Is it twice a month?
Pretty much the
Okay.
second and fourth Thursday, usually of every month for 5 months from May through September. And I'm going to drop in the chat a link to our leadership page, which has the calendar, so you can see all 10 dates and just double check your schedule to make sure it'll work. And again, we allow 2 excused absences. And if there's some kind of wrinkle or concern that you have and you want to talk with me privately about it, I'm more than happy to make myself available.
Thank you.
Mhm. What else?
Tony and I just relieved on the hairnet. Although there is a very attractive beard net that they will provide.
Okay, I don't think we'll have an issue with that one.
I was going to say that is one good looking haircut, my friend.
Yes, indeedy.
Yeah. One of my favorite things that Aaron always says is, once you know, you can't unknow. And through this program, you're going to go and see and hear and meet just consume so much, and you can't unknow it. Every time I drive by the Owassa water treatment plant or University Lake, I know how that water is processed. That's the town drinking water, and I am toward that facility. And when they have an emergency or a pipe break, like, I know what's going on. I've seen the control center, and it's just fascinating to be on that side of things. With the elected officials, hearing personal, candid conversations about their journey to choose to run for office and what they're committed to and how it's working and the highs and the lows. You'll get all of that. The cohorts in the past, they've been very diverse. So we've had vice chancellors of the university and elected officials on town council, all the way to younger folks just starting their career and starting a business or a realtor. And so and everything in between. And I think that makes for a really sweet experience. And there's a lot of fun. Aaron, what else do you want to add for the benefit of the group?
I saw Bryce show us his face again, so maybe that means he had a question or a comment you were going to offer.
Very observational. Oh, good observation here. My question is, what are some of y'all's favorite like growth moments you've had in the program? Like a moment you can reflect on where you're like, oh wow, I've really improved in this area of my life.
So Allie, Aaron, and I are all graduates, so maybe each of us share 1 or 2 things. How does that sound? Allie, you want to go first?
Sure. I have one from not the very first day, but the second day. I personally, and Aaron and Katie will probably laugh at this because it was just a very Allie thing. I put on my application that I was not going to be participating in the ropes course. Absolutely not, period. Like before we even got there, no. And it was mainly based in, I am a plus size woman, and I was like, I just don't think I want to be like vulnerable and go up there and feel silly and feel goofy. And I realized within about 10 minutes of being with my group and being at the ropes course and being with Katie and Aaron and everyone from the chamber that I was in such a safe position to be vulnerable. And when I realized that the only thing holding me back from that was me, not anything else. No one told me I couldn't do it. No one told me there was a weight restriction. No one told me we'll have to find a bigger harness. No one told me anything. It was me. I was the only person saying, you can't do this. And to have a breakthrough moment in literally like hour 0 of this program, I was like, what am I in for the rest of the summer if this is minute 1 and I'm having this realization of myself of being like, girl, if you won't get up on a ropes course, what else are you holding yourself back from? So that was a big one. That was a big moment.
Yeah, I love that. Gosh, thanks, Allie. Aaron, how about you? And maybe it's from your times 20-some years ago,
Oh my
or
God, I
just
can't.
or
Yeah,
just
I
during one of the
can't.
last few. Mhm.
For sometimes the conversations about the origins of things in our community, the aha moments
Mhm.
of particularly talking about a segregated South, that like we were driving by the Graduate Hotel and we're like, oh, before the Graduate was the Graduate, it used to be the Trailways bus station. And for one of our participants to say, yeah, I remember that, I wasn't allowed in there. That in her childhood, the segregated bus station on Franklin Street. And then it was like, that's historic for so many people, but that was her childhood. And that sort of the difference of age and grade, that was just like, or the Hargraves is, pool where, because white folk of the town were allowed to swim on campus, but Black folk weren't allowed to. And so, the segregated swimming pool system that is in this town, this place that we think of as this very liberal. So digging into some of the history and watching some like ahas and surprise moments, it's been really nice. But I like watching people afterwards and the moments where they see each other again, or this sort of shared experience that they know that they've all had that harness on, which is not flattering. It grabs you in all sorts of special ways and is part of the experience.
Oh, that's so great, Aaron. And then Bryce, I think I would add, for my experience, it was probably the Small Miracle Project, which is the group project. My cohort ended up choosing to go forward with the charity that I pitched, and it was Transplanting Traditions, which is a nonprofit farm that helps refugees. The refugees farm the land and sell the produce, and it's a very entrepreneurial business model for the charity. And so we had, I don't know, probably 75 or 100 people buy tickets to tour that farm and get to meet some of the farmers. And then my house is like a mile away. So then there was an after party at my house, and UNC Health, which has surprisingly delicious food, and their catering department catered the party. And it was just, to me, that was very special and a great memory. And the woman of our cohort who was probably the most active in helping plan that event for us is now the chair of the Government Affairs Committee at our chamber. And so she and I talk probably weekly. And so we have that shared experience of going through the program together. I'm glad you asked that, Bryce. That was nice to hear Allie and Aaron's reflections. Yeah.
I'll say one more. I like finding out, because everybody, we know them in the role that they have, but you won't know until Bryce tells you that he used to be an elementary school teacher, or that you won't know, like that sort of the learning of what builds us, makes us who we are now, and the previous experiences we had. Was Dawn a stockbroker before she decided to buy franchises and wine and design? Like that, those histories are really nice to learn about people. We give you a space to learn those things.